Hello and welcome back to the ECB Man in Van. Last time we saw each other, I was leaving Abererch and heading towards Pwllheli, but more specifically the site of Abererch Sands, which is where I would be staying the night tonight. And before I say anything about this site, I think I should maybe caveat it by saying that potentially in peak times, i.e. the summer, this site might be very different. But I went in mid to late March, and this was my experience, because it was one of the weirder sites I've ever been to. Firstly, before I even arrived at the site, I got an email saying that I was to check in online, which I thought was rather odd, but it was made clear why that was a thing as soon as I got at the site. Because there was absolutely nobody working there. There was a big reception building, but nobody was in it, and most of the doors were locked. One door was unlocked for the postman to deliver some post, and that was about it. The reception itself seemed to be just a building that time had forgotten. Looking through the windows, there was an old snooker table and what looked like it used to be a shop. There is an indoor swimming pool on this site, but that was locked up as well. And the actual field where I parked up in, you don't actually need anything to get into it. So there is a barrier, but that barrier is to get towards the static caravans. If you want to park up in a motorhome or a caravan or a campervan, you just turn right onto a field. I was the only person in that entire field, and realistically, I don't know what could have stopped me from just turning up. It was very, very strange. Outside of that, the facilities were very nice in terms of like the toilets and showers and pot washing facilities, all that kind of stuff. Very nice. But it was just very strange that there was nobody around apart from myself and the people staying in the static caravans. The big appeal of this site though is the beach that it's attached to, and it is a very nice beach, as most beaches are in this area. It was a very nice one. Another bonus here is that it's also right next to a train station, and that train station can take you basically all along the coast. You can go from this site straight into the centre of Pwllheli. From that train station, it's about a 4-minute train journey, although the train does not come that often. Personally though, I decided that my way to get into Pwllheli would be to walk along the beach, and that's what I did. It took me around about half an hour, but I was stopping every now and again to take photos and videos of the sea for this video here. And then when I went to Pwllheli, I just had a little bit of a walk around. came time for food though, I went to the Whitehall pub. Now I'll be honest, I have been here once before and had a very good meal, and once again I had a very good meal here as well. Very nice food from here, would highly recommend going there. And when I left, I had the sudden craving that one may have when at a seaside town for some ice cream. But unfortunately, everywhere that sold ice cream was closed, and this was 6 o'clock on a Saturday. But once again, could be to do with just not being at the peak summer times maybe. But on my walk back to the site, I found possibly the next best thing. A 24-hour self-service milkshake bar, where I poured my own milkshake. What a wonderful time. And then it was back to the beach and walking back along as the sun went down. And then, as I was tucking myself into bed, I heard that train going past, the last one of the night. So I grabbed a quick video of that, and it was time for bed. And when I woke up in the morning, it was time to set off again onto the next phase of this lovely little adventure that we're on. But as I said here, the site was a strange one, and again I'm going to caveat it by saying maybe in the summertime it is a bit different, but it did seem very much like the site that time had forgotten. Even at one point I paid £5 for the site's premium Wi-Fi, and when I did that I got an email from the site trying to instruct me on how I could set up my PlayStation 2 to this Wi-Fi. The PlayStation 2 first came out in the year 2000, over a quarter of a century ago, and it just added to the feel of this whole place. Seems to be just like left behind in time. It was a really, really strange vibe that I got from the entire site. It was a weird one. But overall, we move on to our third and final site, which will be in the next video. So I'll see you then for that one. Until then, have a good one. Goodbye. And that premium Wi-Fi never actually worked, by the way, so I paid £5 for the privilege of not having any Wi-Fi, but, you know, that's by the by.